everyone, thanks for coming and welcome to Walks with Moss. Today we're going to go in the mountains on a trail. I don't know if we're going to find any fungus today. This isn't a good trail for fungus other than matsutake, and it's not the right time of year for matsutake. We might see some snow though. I suspect our turnaround point today will be when we hit the snow line. There's a chestnut-backed chickadee singing a song up here. Maybe we're getting near its nest. It's pretty noisy. Here is a very special plant, Allotropa virgata. It's a mycoheterotroph, meaning it doesn't make any chlorophyll, and it depends on a mushroom for its survival. But the mushroom depends on a tree, so we got at least a 3-part symbiosis here. The interesting thing about this one, it's also called candy stick, is that it only grows on the mycelium of the matsutake mushroom. So when you see this, mark it on your GPS or make a mental note of it and come back in the fall and look for matsutake. Now, there's not always going to be a matsutake mushroom when you find these, but it's guaranteed there is matsutake mycelium down there. And if I dug down there, I could probably find enough of the mycelium to smell. So I always make a note of it when I find this stuff. This is last year's. Right here, that's last year's stem. It's a lot easier to identify when it's young, and you can see those nice candy stripes. Very cool plant, and one of my favorite indicator species for a mushroom. Here's some beautiful old growth. Got a little bit of Douglas fir here, but soon we're going to be above the Douglas fir line and up into the hemlock. More allotropa. If the abundance of allotropa is an indicator, we might be looking at a good matsutake year. I completely missed matsutake over here last year. Maybe I'll get some this year. This area was definitely slated for logging. There's logging trails going right up to it. But they stopped. I guess it was the end of the 100-year sustained steel, so they stopped. Here is another mycoheterotroph, and it grows with the Russula mushroom, if I remember correctly. Pacific coral root. Yeah, it's a cool plant. It's another mycoheterotroph, but it is not necessarily associated with a specific mushroom yet. Corallorhiza mertensia. Very cool. Love these mycoheterotrophs. They have such wild colors because they don't make any chlorophyll. They get all of their photosynthetic energy from a mushroom. But wait, mushrooms don't photosynthesize. So the mushroom gets its photosynthetic energy from these old growth trees, and then the coral root latches on and takes some of it, and I'd like to think it gives the mushroom something in return. Gorgeous stuff anyway. Always makes me happy to see it. We've got the E tree here, and up there on the right branch in the very middle of the screen is a mushroom which I think is an agaricon, Phomotopsis officinalis. I could be wrong though. Having fun, buddy? Where are you going? We're going this way. Come on. No tailgating. I don't want a panting tailgater. Go on. Go play. One time right around in here I found some matsutake, but the party I was with also found some yellow jackets at the same time. So we all ran away up the hill and never did get to collect the matsutake. What is this? It's like a child's necklace? But no, it's made out of real stones. So I guess it's not a child's. Wow. I got a new bracelet. Cool. Whee! we have a member of the fungal kingdom. It's an amanita. Probably in the Pantherina group. If I really, really needed to know, I guess I could pick it, but nah. Let's just leave it be. We know it's an amanita. It's got that gemmed top, and it's got a veil and a vulva. If I had to guess, it's a panther amanita. Yay for fungi! How about that, Bella? Fungi! Woohoo! Here's another fungi growing on a log, these cute little gals. Pinewood gingertail is the common name. Scientific name is Zeramphalina campanella. Gorgeous little mushrooms. Absolutely gorgeous. Here's a gorgeous lichen that we get to see because it fell out of the tree. Unless I'm mistaken, this is a Sparrophorus. Right now I can hear a junco, a western flycatcher, and a grouse. I'm really happy to be starting to learn the birds by their sounds, thanks to this app called Merlin by Cornell Labs. There's the sound of a tailgating, panting Springer Spaniel. Makes it hard to hear anything. But this is cool. Western flycatcher I never even heard of till one nested in my doorway. They're due to hatch in just a few days now. I always knew the grouse sounds, but not the western creeper. So I'm really happy this is adding a new dimension to my hiking. I mean, I know a lot of plants, I know a lot of fungi, I know a lot of lichens. Don't know how to talk. Know a lot of lichens, know a lot of moss, know a lot of berries. Maybe soon I will know a lot of birds. That would be cool. Right or left? I've been to the right a few times. To the left looks way more difficult, but that's what we're going to do because I haven't been that way before. There's definitely a lot more people on this trail than there used to be, but it's still at like the perfect balance for me because I'm not actually seeing them, but they are keeping the trails open. That's what I like. Just enough people to keep the trail open, but not so many people that I actually have to see them. Woo! This is steep. This trail's been here a long time, but I haven't been up it before because it wasn't so easy to find before. But thanks to someone, it's way easier to find now. But wow, is it steep. Bella is bleeding again. Looks like her... Oh, geez, that's kind of nasty, buddy. Oh, wow. That's pretty nasty. I think it'll heal on its own, though. I don't think we need to rush to the vet. But yeah, she gouged her lip there. Wow, buddy. You gotta be more careful. Or did you get bit? I guess it's possible she stuck her snout down a animal hole and got bit. Aw, sweetheart. Oh well. She's a Springer Spaniel. She doesn't need to feel pain. That's what the vet said one time. When I had a Spaniel who filleted herself and didn't act like she was in any pain at all. The vet said, she's a Springer Spaniel. She doesn't need to feel pain. Let's carry on. I don't think Bella would want it any other way. I have reached the edge of my comfort zone. It's so steep and I'm worried about going down more than anything. Because I'm having to crawl on my hands and knees to go up. Going down without falling here would be pretty tricky. So we're going to turn around and go take the fork to the right. Got lots of gorgeous bear grass right here. Love that stuff. And you got to be up in the mountains to get to see the flowers anymore because it gets picked by brush pickers. They pick the flower heads right off it. Okay, let's get back down here. Let's get back down out of here. Hopefully safely. Wow. This got so steep so fast. Come on, come on. This is what's known as a vegetable belay. It's where you hold on to trees and stuff, as opposed to like a rope belay. Woo! Yeah, I almost wish I'd turned around a little bit sooner. This is kind of a treacherous place for me to be by myself. It feels really good to be back down onto the trail proper. That was steep. And I went farther up it than I realized. I actually made some pretty good progress. I like how the light is hitting this devil's club. Olapenix horridus. Very aptly named for its super sharp spines that just go deeper and deeper and deeper into your flesh. They're designed for that, and they really hurt. It's almost like they set off an allergic reaction. It's getting ready to blossom. I guess it is blooming. And it's going to make red berries. And it's related to ginseng. And apparently it's medicinal, but not really something an amateur wants to mess with at all. I think they used it to help treat diabetes. I'm talking about the indigenous people. But it's not something you want to mess with. Come on, Bella. Nothing worse than a panting tailgater. Go on. Go on. Okay, so we're on a different climbing route. And this one just is fairly level and just kind of follows the contour of the mountain until it hits a scree slope, and then it climbs straight uphill. So let's see if we can make it to the scree slope where there should be some snow for Bella to eat and have some lunch and some coffee there. We found some puffballs. iNaturalists labeled these as the common puffball. I don't know about that. I don't know what the scientific name for the common puffball is. And it's so far gone. I kind of feel like Lycoperdon perulatum, and the pearls have just turned really brown. That's what I'm thinking it is. Can't get ID very well off iNaturals because it keeps focusing in on everything else in the forest, like this vanilla leaf right here. I forget why this is called vanilla leaf. I think something to do with the flower or something. Here's the flower right here. Does it smell like vanilla? Well, I had a good sniff of the flower and it didn't smell like vanilla to me. It smelled like Comet or Clorox bleach. But there is some reason why that's called vanilla leaf. Maybe the leaves look like a vanilla tree leaf. I don't know. We've got some great big marmot holes here. Hardly ever get to see marmots. Sometimes I hear them. They're only up here at elevation. And here in the Olympics, we have our very own endemic marmot. You won't find it anywhere else. The Olympic Mountains have a few endemic species because they're kind of like an island out on a peninsula cut off from the mainland. There's evidence here that the marmots have been cutting down bear grass. They like to cut down food and then, I guess, drag it down into their holes and eat it over the winter. And I guess bear grass is high on the list of yummy marmot food. But unlike the brush pickers, they leave some for people to see and enjoy as well. And there's lots of it up here. And bear grass is something that I associate with matsutake mushrooms. Sometimes you find them together. It's not a cause and effect sort of thing. It's just kind of an association. And also matsutake are associated with steep slopes like this. Maybe I spoke too soon. I found 2 plastic bottles on this trail now. So I guess the trail's getting a little too traveled after all. It's a rough trail though. It could just be the bottles fell out of people's backpacks and they didn't mean to leave them up here. I just had my phone fall out and I had to go back and get it. I'm so wary of stirring up yellow jackets because I've already found a black jacket nest and a yellow jacket nest at my house. So any little buzzing sound kind of sets me off. Huh. It's not clear where the trail is here. Oh, there's a cut log up there. Okay. When in doubt, look for the cut logs. I mean, it looks like it should go that way because it's kind of level there, but that's not it. We were actually just a little bit off trail at that point. The trail's up here, not down there. But we found our way back. This is an old trail. These logs were cut a while ago. I can hear the water. It's just in that gorge right there. Just got to get there. I wish this bumblebee would quit circling around me. I guess queen bumblebees do that to escort you away from their territory. Bella found the snow. There was a cool looking bird up here I wanted to get a picture of, and I was trying to hold Bella by the collar so I could get a picture of it. But Bella was determined to hit that snow. Now she can cool her heels and cool off. Oh my goodness, Bella. You're making a bloody mess. She rubs her cut against the snow as she's eating it. She's not really bleeding that much. It just looks like it. Wow. I can hear the water up ahead. I can't wait to have a cool drink of mountain water. I've got this much city water. Well, not city water. I don't have city water anymore. I got this much well water left from my house. Feeling better, buddy? Yeah. Let's go sit under the snow cave and have some lunch. Here we are. The end of the trail. I'm not going to even walk out on this snow because it's covering rocks like this, so it would be quite treacherous. But this is the end of the trail regardless. The trail does not continue on. Come on back, Bella. The trail does not continue on over that way. It stops right here because this is climbing route, so climbers go up there. And this is not a particularly easy climbing route. The trail we were on before that was so steep is actually the easier climbing route, but definitely the tougher trail. There's some waterfalls coming down there. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I think I'll scoop up as much of the snow as I can in my cook pot and then maybe head back into the shade because it's really roasting up here. We'll see. Maybe I can find some shade up there or something. Well, I'm kind of cozied up to this little tree here. This is the closest thing to shade I'm gonna get. It'll do. I guess I left my sit pad behind somewhere, but luckily I've got a sweater I can sit on. So I'm gonna sit here and have my PBJ. And I got my water bottle filled with ice and my cook pot too. I don't know if I'll make a coffee up here or not. It's kind of treacherous setting and I'm feeling a little bit, just a little tiny bit out of sorts just because of the elevation and the ruggedness of it all and the isolation. There is such a thing as too much solitude sometimes. But I think I'll feel a little better after I have lunch. Weather's a little bit unsettled today. Bella's a little bit uncomfortable here too. She's not eating her dog food. She's not bleeding though. Yeah, this is not the most comfortable spot for lunch. If I was in the low country, I'd consider breaking this branch off. But since I'm in the high country and these trees grow so slowly, I'm not gonna do that. So here's the view behind me though. Isn't that gorgeous? I do not think that is the summit of this mountain. That is a false summit. The summit's out of view. Wish I could reach those waterfalls and get some running water, but that's not happening. That would be way too treacherous to walk across that snowfield there. The sun is kind of going back and forth between the clouds, so it's not so intense that I necessarily need shade. And I found myself a nice flat rock to sit on. This is a nice little perch with a view. This is comfortable. And I'm going to sit here and turn some of this ice water into coffee. Off in the distance there is Mount Rainier. But up here behind me are some really cool waterfalls. Lunch today is peanut butter and jelly with my homemade huckleberry jam. I finally managed to relax a bit as soon as I realized that the sun wasn't going to kill me today because the clouds were moving in, and I found a nice comfortable rock to sit on next to this beautiful silver fir. Some ravens came by and chased a bald eagle away. That was pretty interesting to watch. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better now. Actually, I think a lot of it probably was my cup of coffee. The coffee calmed me down and relaxed me. Yeah, and finding a comfortable place to sit. But now it's time to hike on out of here, and I'm looking forward to going back through that gorgeous forest and seeing what new plants we can identify. On the way up here, I found a white rhododendron. That's a new one to me. That's pretty cool. Okay, good day up here in the mountains. I'm glad I made it up here, even though it's going to be a bit of a drive to get out of here. All right, time to go. This is a rhododendron. It's called the white-flowered rhododendron, or Rhododendron albiflorum. I never realized this was a rhododendron. And then also down here we've got our Vaccinium ovatum, our mountain blueberry. So far it's looking like it might be a good year for blueberries. It helps if we get some rain right about the time they're ripening. That helps for all the berries. We had a good berry year last year. Hopefully we have another good one. All right, I'm not sure what else to say now. I've ID'd a lot of plants. I've probably got enough material for a video, so just gonna hike on out of here, and if anything exciting happens on the way down, then I'll let you know. Here we've got something that I thought looked a bit like rose spirea, and I popped it into iNaturalist, and iNaturalist says it's mountain spirea, Spirea splendens. And it's just starting to open up its flowers. It's definitely much earlier in the season up here in the mountains than it is down in the lowland. Here we have Sitka valerian. I wonder if it's related to the valerian that you can use as a sleep aid. This is Valeriana sitchensis. Cool. Yeah, it's fun to see all the things that are still blooming up here. We've even got trilliums that are just finishing up here at this elevation, where they've been done for a month down at sea level. Well, here's a new species for me. I thought it looked like vine maple, but then I thought, you know, it seems slightly different than vine maple. This is Acer glabrum, Rocky Mountain maple, but we're in the Olympics. Could be that iNaturalist got it wrong. But it does look slightly different than vine maple. It's got like redder leaf stems and it's growing up in the mountains. No video of mine would be complete without identifying at least one moss. Here's Rhytidiopsis robusta, aka pipe cleaner moss. It's one of my favorites. Here in the Olympics of Washington State, I only see it above 2,000 feet, at least for the most part. You definitely have to be up in the mountains just a little bit to see this gorgeous moss. Here we have some pine saps. I didn't notice these on the way up. These are another mycoheterotroph. I don't know the scientific name. I think these ones are also on the Russula species. Don't see them very often. Okay, I switched Seek to show the scientific names. Monotropa hypopitys. My pet peeve about Seek is that it won't let you see both a common name and a scientific name at the same time. I want to see both at once. I don't want to have to choose between them. Anyway, pretty cool find. Pine saps. Okay, that's about all I got for this week, I think. So, thanks for watching. Please keep those comments coming because the comments really keep me going. And I'm doing okay on my mileage goal. I'm right on schedule. Yay! And making videos helps keep me motivated. And getting comments helps to keep me motivated to make videos. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.